Hello guys, today we shall talk about nitrosamine impurities in drug substances and drug products. Nitrosamine impurities are known carcinogen even at infinitesimally low levels and have raised serious concern about the safety of pharmaceuticals world over. Some of the immediate repercussions of nitrosamine impurities in pharmaceuticals are drug recalls, leading to drug shortage, restriction on export of medicines, increased vigilance over quality management system, escalation of cost of medicines due to change of processes, costlier instrument, and highly skilled manpower. A special mention must be made about the ongoing recalls of certain drugs extensively used for the last 25 years in long-term treatment of blood pressure, diabetic kidney disease, heart failure, and left ventricular enlargement. Then there are instances of recall of rifampicin, metformin, rifapentine, and ranitidine medications due to presence of nitrosamine impurities during the last 2.5 years. The concern of nitrosamine impurity is so serious that the European Medicine Agency has asked marketing authorization holder of all finished pharmaceutical products to conduct risk assessment to determine the risk of nitrosamine content in pharmaceuticals. Hello and welcome to my channel Pharma Punch. I am Arvind Mittal, a pharma auditor and consultant. In order to enjoy the most comprehensive insight into pharmaceutical field, do subscribe my channel to remain updated. The main agenda of today's lecture is to apprise the viewers about the issues of nitrosamine impurities in pharmaceuticals, how the proposed expectations to mitigate the risk of nitrosamine impurities are important, as detection and control of these impurities are going to put considerable pressure on the resources of pharmaceutical manufacturers, which ultimately will reflect as cost escalation of pharmaceutical products. Then, factors which facilitate the presence of nitrosamine impurities in pharmaceuticals, including but not limited to structural and input alerts, shall be taken up. Number 3 is the proposed analytical strategies, and in the last, we shall discuss role of supplements, especially vitamin C in risk mitigation strategies, and a probable solution to drug shortage and recall. So now let us turn to these aspects in detail. There are plenty of references available which viewer can consult for the history of nitrosamine impurities in pharmaceuticals. Without going into history of these impurities, we should accept the fact that nitrosamine impurities in pharmaceutical is a reality since June-July 2018, and deadline of risk assessment is expiring in this March 2021. ICH M7 talks about the cross-section of compounds which, though not structurally related, are inherently carcinogenic at very low levels. These potential carcinogens are called cohort of concern, and these are aflatoxin-like, N-nitroso compounds, and alkyl azoxy compounds. Out of these, our current topic is N-nitroso compounds. Nitrosoamine, or more correctly, N-nitrosoamine, refer to any molecule containing nitroso functional group. Nitrosoamine, or more correctly, N-nitrosoamine, refer to any molecule containing nitroso functional group. Although they are present in some foods, wine, beer, and drinking water supplies, their presence in medicine is nonetheless considered unacceptable. Starting in July 2018, the World Health Organization, the FDA, the European Directorate for Quality of Medicine, and other regulatory and global health agencies issued guidance document and public health alerts regarding the presence of nitrosamine impurities in pharmaceuticals. To protect patients from the adverse effect of nitrosamine impurities in drug products, a new journal chapter 1469 has been proposed by USP, journal chapters, Chemical Analysis Expert Committee, and others to ensure the appropriate control of nitrosamine impurities in drug substances and drug products. More than 36 nitrosamines so far have been identified, out of which 9 impurities are currently under attention. These are N-nitroso-dimethylamine, N-nitroso-diethylamine, N-nitroso-methylphenylamine, N-nitroso-diisopropylamine, N-nitroso-isopropylethylamine, N-nitroso-dibutylamine, N-nitroso-N-methyl 4-aminobutyric acid, 1-cyclopentyl 4-nitrosopyprazine, and 1-methyl 4-nitrosopyprazine. Their acronyms, CAS number, structures, and medication in which these impurities have been detected are given here. Now let us discuss generation of nitrosamine impurities in pharmaceuticals. The formation of nitrosamine is generally only possible when secondary or tertiary amine react with nitrous acid. Nitrous acid itself is unstable but can be formed in situ from nitrites under acidic condition. A representative reaction to form nitrosamine compound from secondary amine is given here. Under acidic conditions, nitrites are converted into nitrous acid. 2 molecules of nitrous acid lose water to form nitrous anhydride. Nitrous anhydride can be regarded as NoNO2 containing nitrosonium cation and nitrite anion. Nitrosonium ion react with secondary amine via SN1 mechanism. Formation of nitrous anhydride is an important step for nitrosation reaction as acidic conditions are only required for its formation. Thereafter, nitrous anhydride can nitrosate secondary or tertiary amine under neutral or alkaline condition. Nitrous anhydride slowly equilibrate back to nitrous acid, and equilibrium of this reaction essentially lies to the right. If amine becomes protonated due to excess concentration of hydrogen ion, it is unable to react with nitrous anhydride and reaction is inhibited. In case of dimethylamine, optimum pH for nitrosation is 3.4. For many other secondary amines, it is even lower. For example, for piperidine and morpholine, pH is 3.0, and for proline, pH is 2.25. Several metals like zinc, copper, tin, iron catalyze nitrosation by nitrosonium ion even under mild conditions. This is suggested that this may involve formation of amine metal nitrosonium intermediate complex. As a synthetic chemist, you must be aware about the reaction conditions which facilitate formation of nitrosamine compounds. A clear idea of optimum conditions for nitrosation will help to take major decision for evaluation and mitigation of risk of nitrosamine impurities in pharmaceuticals. Second important point is carcinogenicity potential of nitrosamine compounds. Nitrosamine are not directly carcinogenic. The well-established major activation pathway is cytochrome 450 mediated alpha hydroxylation of an alkyl adjacent to an nitroso group, leading to formation of alkyl or aryl diazonium ion. Furthermore, parallel reaction of this methyl hydroxylation is production of formaldehyde. Which is also known to modify DNA, generating several products including hydroxymethyl adducts and cross-links. Formaldehyde is mutagenic in a variety of test systems and carcinogenic in laboratory animals. Formaldehyde has been evaluated as carcinogenic to humans and reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen. The specific alkylating agent vary with the nitrosamine, but all are proposed to feature alkyl or aryl diazonium centers. Nitrosetting agents are oxidized nitrogen-containing compounds with general formula NOx. N-nitrosamine can be formed from amines and nitrosetting agent under certain reaction conditions. These NOx species have different reactivities and can react with amines under different conditions. For example, pH of reaction media and nature of the solvents. At low pH, nitrosetting reagents are more powerful, but the amine is more protonated and thus less reactive. Therefore, effective nitrosetting conditions depend both on the pH and basicity of the amine. All the nitrosetting agents give nitrosonium ion, which is responsible for nitrosation reaction. In addition to sodium nitrite, there are other nitrosetting agents which may be present in pharmaceutical synthesis. These are nitrous acidium ion, nitrous acid, nitrous anhydride, dinitrogen tetraoxide, nitrosyl halide, nitrosyl sulfate and nitrosyl perchlorate, nitrosyl thiocyanate, nitrosyl phenol, and nitrosothiol. A thumb rule is that any compound having ability to impart nitrosonium ion is a nitrosetting agent. Therefore, it is expected from manufacturer to envisage all probable sources of nitrosetting agents before concluding negative opinion. Second source of nitrosetting agent is various oxidized nitrogen compounds present in air due to lightning, burning of fossil fuels, and pollution. These nitrogen compounds ultimately become part of water system or air handling system in pharmaceutical units. Viewers must appreciate the fact that we are concerned with very low levels of nitrosamine impurities at a level of parts per billion. Therefore, we cannot overlook the air and water as potential source of nitrosonium ion. So the first one is the nitrous oxide. Natural production of nitrous oxide from microbial activity in soil and in the ocean. After nitrous oxide production, the gas goes to atmosphere. Human production of nitrous oxide is primarily due to combustion of fossil fuel, biomass burning, industrial production of nitric acid, and application of fertilizer to agricultural crops. Nitrous oxide is a greenhouse gas like carbon dioxide. It is chemically inert in the troposphere and stays in troposphere for about 120 years. Nitrous oxide is relatively inert gas and thus is able to float through the troposphere without being destroyed by other atmospheric gases. Once the gas reaches the stratosphere, it reacts with excited oxygen to form Nitric oxide. Nitric oxide. Nitric oxide results from combination of oxygen and nitrogen in lightning strikes. It is a radical and so it is very reactive in the atmosphere. In water, nitric oxide reacts with oxygen and water to form nitrous acid, which is a prominent nitrosating agent. Nitric oxide reacts with fluorine, chlorine, and bromine to form nitrosyl halides such as nitrosyl chloride, which are also potent nitrosating agent. With nitrogen dioxide, nitric oxide combines to form intensely blue dinitrogen trioxide or nitrogen anhydride. Nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide is a brown gas responsible for the color of photochemical smog. This is produced by combustion of fossil fuels and biomass as well as by oxidative decomposition of ammonia in the atmosphere. It is a radical and so is reactive in atmosphere. Nitrogen dioxide is in equilibrium with its colorless dimer, nitrogen tetraoxide. Dinitrogen tetraoxide has a very weak nitrogen-nitrogen bond and is in equilibrium with nitrogen dioxide. It is a diamagnetic substance and it reacts with water to form nitrous acid and nitric acid. Then solvents and reagents. Formation of nitrosamine is possible in presence of secondary, tertiary or quaternary amines and nitrosating agent in the synthetic process under acidic conditions. As we have already seen that nitrosonium ion can react with these amines under neutral and alkaline conditions. Amines may be present in a manufacturing process for a variety of reasons. Secondary and tertiary and quaternary amines are used as solvents and reagents in synthetic processes. Many of these solvents contain trace amount of other amines which can undergo nitrosation reaction. For example, triethylamine contains diethylamine, dipropylamine, and isopropylamine as impurities. Similarly, phase transfer catalyst tetrabutyl ammonium bromide contains tributyl and dibutylamine impurities. Amide solvents like DMF and DMAC degrades under high temperature to produce dimethylamine, which is a precursor of NDMA or nitrosodimethylamine. Another favorite solvent, N-methylpyrrolidone, undergo oxidative degradation to produce N-methyl 4-amino-butanoic acid, which is source of NMBA. Piperazines are known to produce CPNP and MNP in rifampicin and rifampicin medication respectively. Yet another solvent, NN-dimethylphenylamine, contains N-methylphenylamine, which is a precursor of N-nitrosomethylphenylamine impurity. Since list is not exhaustive, the manufacturer should evaluate other reagents containing amine functional groups in solvents and reagents for potential source of nitrosamine impurities. The key raw materials, intermediates or API may contain secondary or tertiary amine in a structure which may undergo nitrosation reaction under suitable conditions. These are structural alerts a manufacturer must pay attention to while evaluating nitrosamine risk evaluation. Some of the prominent structure alerts are secondary and tertiary amines, piperidines, diazinenes, pyrrolidines, imidazoles, pyrols, piperazines, and alkyl phenylamines. Then there are APIs whose side chain involve triazoles, thiodiazoles, tetrazoles, and benzimidazoles, where sodium nitrite and or alkyl aryl diazonium salts or both are used in synthesis. Despite cleanup, some sodium nitrite may carry over to next steps and may give rise to nitrosamine impurities. These side chains are of interest, especially in certain AIDS control medications and antisense compounds. If key raw materials or APIs contain these side chains, then manufacturer is required to assess risk evaluation and implement risk mitigation strategies in their QMS program. Then recovered solvents and reagents. In industrial process, generally solvents, reagents, and catalysts are recovered in a multi-product facility which receives solvents from different products. This poses a risk of cross-contamination and increased risk of nitrosamine impurities if some of the solvents contain trace amount of amine solvents. For example, in case of recovery of DMF, sodium nitrite is used to quench excess sodium azide, which is used in recovery process. The traces of sodium nitrite generate nitrosamine impurities in later stages of synthesis. The issue becomes more complicated if boiling point of nitrosamine impurities are near to distillation point of recovered solvent. These impurities may form azeotrophs and get enriched during recovery process. Lack of validated cleaning procedure at the end of supplier of solvent and reagents are known to cross-contaminate the raw materials, especially solvents. Orthoxylene and toluene are found to be contaminated with triethylamine and diethylamine. Similarly, N,N-dimethylphenylamine is found to be contaminated with amine solvents. As a general practice, recovery of solvents and reagents are outsourced and recovered solvents become a part of supply chain. The outsourced recovery plants receive solvents and reagents from multiple manufacturers, and chances of contamination of solvents are increased manifold. These recovery plants may not adhere to GMP practices, and nitrosamine impurities are formed in final products due to cross-contamination of solvents and reagents. The sixth source of nitrosamine impurities is the primary packaging material, which remains directly in contact with drug substance or product. Nitrates and nitrites can be found in many excipients at parts per million level. Sodium starch glycolate, cross-carmellose sodium, pre-gelatinized starch, polyvinyl pyrrolidone, cross-polyvinyl pyrrolidone, and lactose are excipients that might carry trace levels of nitrate or nitrites impurities. In September 2019, a new root cause of contamination of finished drug product with NDMA and NDEA was identified in relation to primary packaging material. Preliminary investigation revealed that the formation of N-nitrosamine was caused by reaction of nitrocellulose in the lidding foil with amine constituent of printing ink. Dimethylamine and diethylamine were detected in printing inks. These impurities were transferred to drug products during the heat sealing blistering process via vaporization and condensation. Avoiding nitrocellulose and changing printing ink can remove this potential source of nitrosamine contamination. Then seventh is the stability. There are instances when NDMA levels in ranitidine products stored at room temperatures were increased with time to unacceptable levels. Preliminary results using accelerated stability testing demonstrated that elevated level of NDMA were measured in all products after 2 weeks. Product degradation during stability could be a major cause of increased NDMA level. The root cause of nitrosamine impurities can be summarized by this figure, where multiple sources of nitrosamine may be possible within the same drug substance or drug product. Multi-pronged strategies are required to identify all potential sources of contamination. The risk assessment strategy should revolve around the manufacturing process, sources of raw material, trace amount of nitrites and amine contaminated in raw materials, stability studies, packaging, and primary container closure system. The risk assessment process can be summarized with the following points. Use of sodium nitrite or other nitrosating agent in presence of secondary or tertiary amines or quaternary ammonium salts within API manufacturing process, either within the same or at different process steps. Number 2, use of sodium nitrite or other nitrosating agent in combination with reagents, solvents, and catalysts, which are susceptible to degradation to secondary or tertiary amines within the same or different process steps. Number 3, use of contaminated raw materials, for example, solvents, reagents, and catalysts. Number 4, use of recovered materials, for example, solvents, reagents, and catalysts. Number 5, use of contaminated starting materials and intermediates supplied by vendors. Next, potential contamination due to risk for cross-contamination or carryover in multi-purpose plant. 7th, degradation process of starting materials, intermediate or drug substances. And the last is the primary packaging material. API manufacturers should review their API manufacturing processes and perform risk assessment to identify the potential for nitrosamine impurities. If risk assessment indicates the possibility of nitrosamine impurities, then confirmatory testing of batches should be conducted using sensitive and validated analytical methods. Given the severity of risk of nitrosamine impurities, if any such impurity is detected at or above the limit of quantitation, then that API resulting from that particular process should be labeled as at risk, and each batch should be tested for such impurities before release. We can see that this condition will inevitably increase the manufacturing cost. If a nitrosamine impurity is detected, API manufacturer should investigate the root cause and implement changes in the manufacturing process to reduce or prevent nitrosamine impurities. Similarly, on the part of drug product manufacturer, risk assessment should involve close collaboration with drug substance manufacturer to evaluate potential risk of nitrosamine impurities due to route of synthesis of API and other sources. In addition to this, drug product manufacturer should evaluate if nitrosamine impurities may be introduced in drug product due to excipients, packaging material, or during stability. If risk of nitrosamine in a drug product is identified, confirmatory testing of batches should be conducted using sensitive and validated analytical methods. If a nitrosamine impurity is detected, manufacturers should investigate the root cause and implement changes in manufacturing process or vendor to mitigate or reduce nitrosamine impurity. In case a nitrosamine impurity is detected above the LOQ, the manufacturer should develop a strategy to ensure that nitrosamine levels remain within the acceptable intake limit, and testing of each batch should be undertaken before release. With this, we are concluding first part of this topic. In the second part, we shall discuss decision tree to devise nitrosamine impurity control strategy, analytical method requirements for these impurities, including validation parameters and probable role of vitamin C in order to address drug recalls and shortages. Keep watching.